Get ready for the next battle, ladies, gentlemen, they, them, and everyone else in between. My name is SPF Dark. We're coming at you live here at the CCA, bringing you our bye week for our regular season before we head into the bracket. Now, before I get too much into detail about tonight's set for you guys, I do have a lovely friend of mine joining me here today.
Yo, oh my god, that was very high energy. So I'm trying to match this sort of energy right off the bat. Hello everyone, I'm Mewtwo. I'm back. I managed to get out of the timeout corner after paying several fines to get back onto commentary, and I'm really excited to commentate this match.
All right, and as we have a little bit of time before the match actually starts, tonight's match, only match if I'm pretty sure that we're streaming, if the voice in my head can correct me on that, we have the Splatlanders from Division 2 versus the California Rollers, which, as you can see, a little bit of lopsided record. The Splatlanders having a very, very well-rounded 4-0 record thus far versus California's current record of 2-1.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to stop the California Rollers from playing their best this week. As we know, I believe that California Rollers do need to win their next 2 sets in order to have a shot at the playoffs. However, Splatlanders sitting nice and pretty with that 4-0. I believe they already locked in their playoff spot. But, you know, having that nice clean record of 5-0 going into playoffs would be real nice for them.
Most definitely, the California Rollers definitely have a little bit of a daunting task ahead of them for these next few games for them. Having to try and at least stay alive at least one more game longer to win this game in order before having to win yet again on their next set. It's a bit of a daunting task, but as you see here from the California Rollers, some of their keys to victory is part of the keys to victory is the mental game, which I've always been an advocate of, like, the mental being such a huge part, like, way bigger than most people, like, kind of expect for, like, these kind of competitive games, especially in Splatoon. So having that strong mental fortitude, especially in very high stress situations like tonight's set, it's very important for them to have.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, as you said, mentality can play a really big part in how you play, and it can definitely affect team morale as a whole. You know, everyone needs to keep up positive vibes. Otherwise, you're just going to be playing with a negative mentality, and you might just get more frustrated at your teammates or lash out at them, and we don't really want that. But anyways, the Splatlanders' keys to victory, don't skill issue, or if you do, make sure you have coolers. So I'm expecting to see some coolers. Keeping up that aggression, always good to have in a fast-paced game like Splatoon 3, and Chris's flex picks will either cost us or win us Game 7 when he goes Clash. Hopefully it doesn't go to Game 7 because it's Clamblitz, Barnacle, and Dime, and I'm not really sure how well Clash is.
Yeah, Clash Master definitely is what I like to call a bit of a knowledge check weapon. If you know how to play around it, it shouldn't be much of an issue, but if you don't have that sort of pre-knowledge of how to at least play against the Clash Blaster, you're in for a little bit of trouble. And with California's Rollers, that might, and their mental game keys to victory, that might shake things up depending how well or how unwell they know this matchup. But we'll see exactly how that goes down if it goes all the way to Game 7. You know, California Rollers, they probably want to try, if they can, try and clean this up with a clean 4-0 victory on themselves to sort of help themselves get into the seeding process a bit easier, have an easier time for their seeding. But as we're just getting ready for this next game here in just a little bit, the first map mode of the night is Tower Control on Ship-Shape Cargo Company.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if Chris actually, you know, sped up the process and just used Clash Blaster on this map here. But as we could see, yep, Chris is in this lobby on the side of Splatlanders, so we can potentially see a Clash, if not a Blaster of some kind. Definitely a cooler on the side of Splatlanders if they do decide to run it. And maybe even like the standard Trizuka, because, you know, that's always a fun special.
The Trizuka menace still haunting to this day. For those of you who also don't know, there has been a patch actually this week, and Trizuka may not have been hit as hard as some people would have hoped. In fact, most people would have hoped. But we're exactly see how some of the new weapons that got buffed and nerfed, to see exactly how that's going to change up this weekend's games here, because there's not too many major changes to the game, but there might be a few that like actually bring some surprises. Because I think the first surprise for me, anyways, is the Splattershot Pro actually getting a bit of a damage buff, which I don't know if that will be enough to make us see some uptick in play or not. But it hits a little bit harder though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I have not looked at those patch notes at all, so I am just going in completely raw. I'm just gonna go into it with a fresh mind and, open mind. I'm ready to spread some love. If I do see a Splattershot Pro, I will know that there has been a damage buff. So thank you for letting me know. I feel like Splattershot Pro has just been one of those weapons. It's just suffered ever since the start of Splatoon 3, and it has never found its real place in the competitive scene. And I'm really excited to see what happens, because this is CCA, and as we know, we're not really sure of anything.
We never are sure. Exactly. We're gonna see now how sure these players are with their weapon comp lineups as we get into our first game of the night. East Coast versus West Coast, might I mention. So I'm very excited to see how these players are gonna try and play this out. And right here, we already see a few deviations already. Umbrella is my main surprise pick right there.
Yeah, we see a blaster, but it's not from Chris, it's from Cyan on the side of Splatlanders, and as you said, there's a Sorella Brella, but as we can see, there's also a Splat Roller on the side of the California Rollers. Oh, okay, I get it. So as we see the Splat Roller is in mid, we see the Brella already getting into the enemy court, along with Chris, and all of the members are there with the cooler already, and hopefully they don't skill issue, like their keys to, oh, it looks like one's already dead. I guess they think they got skill issued.
And already, as both teams are fighting out in mid, it seems like Splatlanders have at least not very strong opening, but a decent opening already, as they're marching already on over to the first checkpoint. The California Rollers are regrouping at this moment to try and see exactly how they're ready to counteract this push, and with the tri-strikes, that might be enough to sort of get that tower stepping a bit back towards mid.
Yeah, catching that Sorella Brother that wanted to try a bit more aggressive. Two are down on the side of the Splatlanders, but as we see, Nesca goes down on the side of the California Rollers. We see Chris taking a fight with the shot, and it looks like it's just going to be a neutral exchange. No one is dying right now, but as we see the T-Tac do go down, we see the cooler placed very aggressively, and Chris catches the jump.
Ooh, what a beautiful play by that Octo shot right there, as Splatlanders are marching towards that first checkpoint. They managed to get halfway through it at the moment, but it seems like they still gotta recheck that checkpoint, as already seems like California Rollers can't do anything but just respect the push, give a little bit of space, and to allow them to regroup, get specials, and get ready and try and stop this next push before they head to that second checkpoint. A very tight hold right here if you're not careful, as they're already 40 points and counting. This is starting to become very dangerous with the California Rollers.
It's very dangerous because they tried to rely on their specials to stop that push with those triple ink strikes, but after 2 went down, it seems that the Splatlanders pushes just keep on going. We see the heavy edit use cooler, we see the pencil at the top right trying to fight the people up the tower. There's one more left, it's the heavy edit. Can he escape? No, he can't! It's the end of the Splatlanders push, but 9 on this map is very strong.
Most definitely. 9 points right there is what I like to call a near knockout scenario. In order for the California Rollers to actually get 9 points, or at least 8 points, they might as well have gotten the victory for certain in their grasp and getting a knockout at that point. But right now, it seems like it could be a possibility as tri-strikes look out. The umbrella is out. Cooler's up and at ready, and it looks like they're already starting to contest that first checkpoint.
Oh yeah, it looks like they're going to contest it really unharmed. Chris does not have triple ink strikes, and now he does. Oh, as I say that, oh man, commentary curse. We see the cooler come out. Looks like the Brella is trying to rush the tower already, but the California Rollers do get past, and they take down the Brella. If they could take down these 2 other people trying to push the tower, then I think they're going to be in a great position. Chino is using those strip strikes. They find 2! Ooh. That's pretty huge. If they can find 3 sure, that'd be even better if they can get rid of Chris, because he is their triple ink strike user, and if they get rid of him, then no more triple ink strikes on the board, but he jumps out, but Chino takes out this heavy. Chino, are you on like some drone gas?
A very prominent showing by this bucket right here, Chino, a legendary bucket player. I'm sorry, I'm going to guess, as a phenomenal push by the California Rollers, but it seems like it wasn't just quite enough as Splatlanders managed to regroup, just sort of retake mid, or not mid, their side of the map, and are looking to try and get them California Rollers pushed back. And it looks like they pushed them back. They do, as things reset back to neutral, and with the inkjet at the ready, it seems like they're looking to try and get this momentum going back to their favor.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look too bad for Splatlanders, considering that if they could push it to 31, they could definitely push it past 9, but 2 go down on this side of California Rollers. We see Chris pushing back into their court with the Brella at the top left as well, helping him push Cyan with that blaster, pushing all the members back. The Sorella Brella, I'm not gonna lie, keeps kind of getting skill issued, but it seems that they do always have cooler on deck. We see the pencil firing out that Brella on the tower, and they cannot shred the shield. We see Cammy trying to take this fight with the heavy edit, and they do go in, and it looks like 2 are down, 3 are down on the side of the Splatlanders, and it looks like California Rollers can finally get another push going.
very good team play by California Rollers, already taking those fights in pairs and just managed to get Splatlanders, pick them off one by one. And now, as we head into the final minute of the game, this is going to be a very important push for the California Rollers to try and at least contest that 9 points remaining from the Splatlanders as specials go out. They're looking to try and stall out Splatlanders as much as they can in order to keep them from trying to stop that tower from going into their side of the map. As we're going to see a trade right there on their side, on the Splatlanders side, this could be dangerous territory for the Splatlanders.
Yeah, they got rid of Cyan, which was very huge, but they did use Cooler. We see the Sorella using that Inkshot, trying to find one. We see the Heavy Edit playing very aggressive by the tower, trying to use their range to its advantage, not going down, and if they do go down, they have Cooler at the ready, and it appears that triple Ink Strikes are coming through. The members of Splatlanders are kind of out of position right now, but they get back in very quickly to go down on the side of California Rollers, and it's already game. We see those GG strikes from Chris, and it's game 1 does go to the Splatlanders.
A very good showing by the California Rollers. It seems that even though the Splatlanders may be the big shots in this set, leaving the California Rollers to be the underdog, they still have everything they can. They still have plenty of tricks up their sleeves to try and fight back the Splatlanders and actually stay in this season for a little bit longer. Like we mentioned earlier, the California Rollers, they have to win this set in order to try and stay in the season and move on to the bracket. And as you see right here, beautiful stop by that Inkjet, just getting the California Rollers picked off and just keeping them back long enough for the strikes get charged up and get those infamous GGs tri-strikes.
Yeah, definitely. This heavy playing aggressive did work out on the for Splatlanders, because Jerry was able to use the Heavy Edit's range to kind of outranged, like the bucket and the shot and the roller. They couldn't really approach the tower, which left Chris to build up their specials, and it left Cyan and the Brella to just kind of pressure that tower very easily. But if anything, California Rollers really showed that great team coordination, especially when they were stopping Splatlanders' tower pushes. I think if they could keep this coordination up and not try and let Splatlanders fall through that cracks and getting that 9 lead in game 1, I think they're gonna be quite fine.
Most definitely. The team coordination from the California Rollers is as I can see why they say they have that as the keys to victory. It'll definitely be the very thing that they're going to try and rely on. But one thing to know as well is, since you said you didn't read the patch notes, important thing to know about the pencil as well that might be a little bit contested since we saw the Heavy Edit from last game, is that it got a bit of a points to special nerf. It takes 10 more points for it to charge the tactical. So stuff like the Heavy Edit and the NZAP might see just a little bit more play, because the pencil, it can't charge up that cooler as fast as it used to.
Thank Christ. Oh my god. I hate pencil. It was just so... It just took up every backline. And, as we see, like, Custom Explosher, the vibes. Having a teammate named Vapor who loves the Custom Explosher as much as I love women. And we're going into Undertow Spillway. I heard that this map got a little bit of some map changes. So, like, I haven't played Undertow Spillway. I honestly think this is a map of all time, but I did hear it got some map changes. Dark, I think you might know a little bit more about that than me.
Most definitely. This map mode I'm definitely excited for. Rainmaker on Undertow, the brand new Undertow, might I add, on top of a few new balance changes. It's hard to tell exactly how people should properly play this map mode today, since it's just been 2 days, 3 days brand new. So, but as for some of the new changes, there's not really too much major. There's a few routing changes, as well as you can see the big problem to change actually is under the ramp on each side. There's a little cave you can hide under as well. So that's gonna probably be a big point of contention, especially for Rainmaker, as it could be somewhere the Rainmaker can probably hide from or hide under and just take cover around.
Hiding, and also means sharks for potential pushes. And as we see Splatlanders getting the Rainmaker, we see Wanna Splat the Tentabrella just running through with this Rainmaker. We see Chris providing support, and they already get the first checkpoint. Oh my lord, that was fast! 30 seconds into the game, Splatlanders already got the first checkpoint. California Rollers are left scrambling as Chris are using these trip strikes. And it looks like California Rollers are finally getting some specials on the board, but we see Wanna Splat on this Brella. They might find 2 right now. Oh my goodness, this pencil and needs to get rid of this Brella, but they use the Zuka, and they... Oh no, you hit a point blank. Oh no, Zuka moment.
Oh, what a phenomenal just opening push for the Splatlanders, already taking first checkpoint within the first minute of this game, as well as already putting California Rollers on the back pedal just almost immediately. And even though there was a Rainmaker reset in the middle of all that, it doesn't feel like it, as the Rainmaker is still on that first checkpoint pedestal, just waiting to be tried to push back out. Even if it did get pushed out, it's still stuck there. And as the Splatlanders are just constantly fighting, just keeping Californians out of tempo, out of their reach, and just causing chaos.
Jerry was up there for a little too long, I suppose, for the California Rollers' liking. But then again, let's talk about Nesca and the way they were able to stop that Rainmaker push on the side of Splatlanders. So great play to them being able to flank around, and it looks like this will allow the California Rollers to get back into mid. We see Chino on that bucket. They take out the Octo Shot before Chris can do any more damage. And now I'm able to see that cave much better. And as we see, Chino is trying to find a way to get past of this Umbrella and be able to pick him, because no more Zuka. That's no more Zuka on board. Chino grabs the Rainmaker and they start pushing.
Oh, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a breakaway for the left side as 2 more players are down for the Splatlanders. It looks like it could be an easy first checkpoint for the California Rollers if they can wait out that trash strikes, and look like they might just be able to, as once again 2 more go down for the Splatlanders. The California Rollers taking that first checkpoint. Very well done.
Look at the discipline from Chino. They were able to know to back up and just wait out those tri-strikes. We see Nesca try and push in, get punished for that. We see California Rollers grabbing the Rainmaker, but they can't get the lead. But we see the tri-strikes come in from Chino, and it's able to pop the shield, but they grab it, and they once again cannot get it. I think they were just being a little too hasty with the Rainmaker, especially since all 4 of the Splatlanders are alive, and 3 of them are guarding that Rainmaker, and we already see Chris. And look at this team coordination on the side of the Splatlanders, you know?
Very well coordinated indeed, but even with coordination, you might just end up getting 1 or 2 just stray picks from God knows what, as Splatlanders are 3 down right now. A very neck and neck game, I want to add, even though it might not look at this, is that such a quick opening by the Splatlanders. Just 4-point difference between these 2 teams. It can still go either way, and with how both of these teams have very strong moments of coordination, I have no idea who might be winning this, right? But right now, it seems that Splatlanders might be trying to win this push right here, as the 10 Umbrella is just outright skirmishing in mid.
How is this? How is Wanna Splat not dead? 2 are down on the side of California Rollers. They could easily start, but another push again. Oh my god, I think Wanna Splat is currently proving to be an MVP of this game. They could take out Chino. Oh, can't. But Chino's still alive, then they use the trip strikes to get back into mid, trying to facilitate a California Rollers push. We see them catching Cyan on their side of the zone. But how do we see Jerry? Jerry's not afraid. Jerry is comfortable pushing with this heavy edit, being the only person alive on the side of Splatlanders and holding that space to allow Splatlanders to get back in. We see Nesca with that bubble again. They find a pick onto Chris. Oh, but it's a trade. It's really unfortunate. And as we see 1 minute left, it's still anyone's game.
1 minute remaining, and it looks like Splatlanders are getting picked off just slowly, 1 by 1. California Rollers have the opening right now to try and at least potentially make a breakaway as Trip Strikes goes out, just sort of scatter them out, make them easy pickings. There's going to be a breakaway on the left side as their own Trip Strikes trying to slow down the Rainmaker, and no, it might be it, as they take the lead, and they're going! 44 points remaining, 30 seconds remaining. California Rollers just has to hold this strong!
Oh, Splatlanders gave them an inch and California Rollers took a mile. 2 are down on the side of California Rollers, but they did have a cooler active, I believe. And it looks like Jerry's back into mid, but the Splatlanders have their own cooler. That way they could push a lot more aggressively and not be punished as heavily. And it looks like the Nesca's just trying, I believe they're just trying to get a bubble. They already have a bubble on board. We see Cyan and Jerry. Jerry is pushing in with the, not a heavy edit. You don't expect that one to be pushing with the front lines. As we see, Wanna Splat. They don't have that 10 Umbrella support when they try and push the Rainmaker because Wanna Splat is carrying it. Cyan trying to pressure. But great cooler play, you know? It allows Cyan to not be able to pick off any members of the California Rollers. And as we can see, they're just trying to inch by inch their way towards a lead. Oh my god! Jump scare! Yuka jump scare! Oh my god! Oh my lord! Freddy Fazbear type jump scare. What just happened?
Oh!
What? What?
Oh! That has to be the most thread-needling Zuka shot I've seen in my entire career here at the CCA.
Oh my
just
goodness.
Like that.
Oh my
California Rollers hit the mark and just completely obliterated Splatlanders' push. Oh,
no,
wow.
No. Wanna Splat? I'm not gonna lie. Wanna Splat just got JFK'd.
Oh,
One Splat just got JFK'd by that Zuka. Oh my lord. But as we see
oh.
California Rollers, we see Cammy, I believe, Otto getting that pick onto the Tentabella that was causing them a lot of pain in the mid game. And this was what allowed them to get that push. They took down the heavy edit, which was very big. Splatlander just doesn't have that range advantage anymore, and all the members are out of position. We do see that Zuka from Wanasplat come in and try and pick the Rainmaker off, but unfortunately, as you can see, it just goes over Otto's head, and they're able to get the lead and push it to 44. Wow, what? what just
That that was a phenomenal push to take lead right there. Just breaking away, using the triple strikes for your advantage to keep the other team disorganized, and I'm still disorganized from that insane shot from Bazooka. I just they did not expect who in their right minds would ever expect a Zuka shot like that. Like, that is completely just off the walls. And as I take a moment to recover, our next game of this set, we're going to clam blitz on Umami Ruins.
This is such a great map for Wanasplat's Tentabrella. I believe they could just comfortably pull this out again. They don't really need to change much on their comp. But I think definitely California Rollers need to find a way to deal with Wanasplat, because as we saw, they were causing them a lot of problems in Game 2. But even though California Rollers won, they won a little bit, It was very close. So I think if you're able to facilitate shredding the Tentabella shield with like trip strikes or lethal bombs, I think I'll be able to really halt Splatlander's push very effectively. But like Zuka, so it's, oh dear, I'm traumatized.
And rightfully so, that Zuka just instantly took the cloth from under Splatlander's table. But right now, it's waiting for the next set. Nautilus, a very surprising pick from the California Roller side. I did not expect from their side, but right now we're going to see exactly how these players are going to start out, as both teams are playing just a very deliberately slow neutral game, trying to see where everyone is, trying to get any sort of pick they can. That Roller going dangerously far, and triple strikes already.
Yeah, the trip strikes facilitated Cyan to move, and they got a double. They got a really cool double. They can make a ball right now, and it looks like Splatlanders are getting already an early push in, as we saw. I believe that was Mystic Tari subbing in for Otto, so that's why we see a Nautilus on the side of the California Rollers. But it looks like California Rollers will need to play some pretty heavy defense. Not if Cyan just goes in and does it again. They do it again.
Oh, with that play happening over and over again, the California Rollers, they have to make sure they're not face checking those curling bombs. Is a very common tactic, is just to sort of slide in with that curling bomb and take a pick or two as you can. And that Tenebella not doing any protection for Splatlanders, as they get a 1-for-1 trade, as both teams are reverting back to neutral. A 50-point lead already from the Splatlanders side. Oh my.
Yeah, as we see Nesca taking out that Roller that was causing them a lot of problems in the early game. It looks like Nesca has the bubble on board. Looks like they might want to get rid of these trip strikes users. The Tentabella does go down. Jerry is distracted with that bubble, and it looks like Nesca is unable to find the pick. And I think I should note something very important. I think Chino has switched from the bucket to the splatter shot, so I guess having an extra Zuko will be handy. But I'm not really sure. I thought bucket was pretty effective for this map, so I'm interested to see how he does. But as we can see, 50 points down. But they do have mid-control very heavily. They have a Pity, and they have a Zuka. But they need to be aware of Jerry! Oh!
What a phenomenal hold by the Splatlanders, just instantly denying what could have been a very dangerous push. But the California Rollers not done yet, as that Roller still on their side of the base, finally jumping out as things revert back to neutral. The Splatlanders are looking to try and get that power climb out of the California Rollers' hands, but they can't get that done exactly, as the Splatlanders one down. Let's get it pick. It's blow for blow at this moment.
Yeah, Splatlanders had to use 2 specials in order to get a little bit of mid-control back, but looks like Nesca is there trying to fight a 1v4 on their own. Not the best situation you want to be in. As we see Splatlanders is trying to push back in again. We see Wanna Split with that Tentabrella. Like I said in the pregame, Tentabrella is going to be very problematic, and they do get another score, but they don't break through their penalties. So if California Rollers can grab their ball, they will have 3 balls on this field. I think you might want to get that checked out, though.
3 balls on the field might actually be the win condition for California Rollers as a practical wipeout for the Splatlanders. This could be the opening they needed to try and get their points on the field. But no, there's just one person for the Splatlanders holding strong, and they can't exactly make good use of that very strong opening.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate. As we see, they have Cooler and they have Zuka. Let's see how well Chino is able to facilitate using this Zuka. They can't find anybody, and Jerry's just managing to hold strong. He's playing a very impenetrable defense right now. The entirety of Splatlanders is using their specials, just throwing the entire kitchen sink at him. Chris is in mid already. Jerry is on his flank. All of the Splatlanders are moving back, coordinate like a machine. We see Chino finding one. Can he find 2? We see the Roller pushing the pencil, and it looks like one of the balls is gone on the side of California Rollers, but one's down on side of Splatlanders. I think we might see something big soon.
Most definitely, depending on how the remainder of this fight goes in mid, could very well dictate how this match might end up going. As one goes down for the Splatlanders, one goes down for the California Rollers. It's trade for trade right now. 2 goes down for the California Rollers, but it's 2 down for the Splatlanders. Both teams are not giving up as there's a breakaway for the power basket. But no, that might not be the breakaway you need as we head into the final minute of the game. You can't just give a pity clamp to the Splatlanders.
Especially since Wannasplat just found 2 of you guys, and it looks like Wannasplat almost has another ball. Splatlanders is probably going to pass their clamps to Wannasplat to get a free push in towards the end to ensure the victory. We see the Rollers trade. We see Cyan pushing in. They find 2. Oh my goodness! Cyan is just being able to walk into the California Rollers base and just find as many as they want. Cyan is basically able to make a ball right now, but smartly enough, they don't. They're waiting for that timer to get lower and lower. And it looks like we're just going to see a push right now. Oh my goodness, he just got a power climb in.
Oh, and that just might spell the doom for the California Rollers. And as we head into the final 10 seconds of the game, if the Splatlanders can get just a few more clams in, that might secure the victory. But no, it looks like this might go in an overtime scenario as one pity clam goes out for the California Rollers. The Splatlanders have to make sure they can stall out the California Rollers as long as they can, as we have now 30 seconds and counting.
Yeah, it's definitely not looking good for the California Rollers, especially since Cyan finds the roller that's very huge. We see Chino picking up the ball, just throwing it to that pencil, saying, I don't want it. But it looks like Chino will have to pick up the ball. They find Wannasplat, but they can't find Chris. And that's the end of overtime, and Game 3 goes to the Splatlanders.
Very back and forth game. I gotta say that both teams did very well, but it looks like the Splatlanders just managed to find the right opening at the right moment and just completely stuffing that basket with all their clams, getting 50 to 95 point in off of one push. I gotta say that was very unfortunate for the California Rollers.
Yeah, I definitely just think that it was a combination of not really being able to take care of Cyan as quickly as they would like, and also Wannasplat's Tentabrella that really facilitates our clam pushes, and overall the general teamwork of Splatlanders being able to know when to push back in as a unit, when to push in with specials, how to hold their ground was very, very effective. But California Rollers, it was a very uphill battle with all the factors going against them. But I think, you know, for a map like Umami Ruins that really favored Splatlanders comp, I think going into the next game, you just gotta like take a deep breath, be like, man, this map list, not it. But Splatzone's Mako Mart, something we could all agree on as being a pretty good map mode.
A tried and true for Splatoon comp classic. Splatzone's a Mako Mart. It's a very just kind of well-rounded map. A lot of kind of weapon types can be played here. I would be very surprised if we see a bucket of some kind, or maybe, I don't know, just throwing it out there, throw caution to win a Clash Blaster of some kind, you know. It could work. I don't know. As a Blaster player myself, I very much like playing around these ledges and playing with the high ground and low ground and just trying to use my weapon to annoy and poke and just slay from just behind the wall. So Clash Blaster could be the step here.
Yeah, Clash Blaster, we might see Cyan on that roller again, considering how effective it was last game. We might see Chino switch back to bucket. Maybe shot wasn't the play, but as we see, we're heading into game 4 immediately. These teams these teams just they know what they want, and then they check out quickly. You could tell they've been practicing this a lot. Bye,
Ooh.
Chino.
Oh.
Wait, no, that's not Chino. My bad. Wait, what happened?
There seems to be a bit of a disconnect.
Yeah, there seems to be a reef slider on my screen. Dreadwing. Uh-oh. I don't like it. I don't like what that's implying. It seems that
We are.
there is
Wait.
there is some gaming going on.
I feel like
Okay, there we go.
I feel like what happened right there was the fact of like everyone thought, oh, someone else will reset the room for me. I don't have to do it, but no one ended up doing it.
I'd also like to imagine that no one knew how to cancel the game, so they had to quickly Google it. But as we can see, we are currently trying to figure out what happened, and it looks like they are back in the lobby, so we might get a Game 4. As we see a replay from Game 3, we just saw Cyan wreaking havoc on the side of California Rollers in their base by the basket, able to get just needing one more clamp to facilitate another push. And it looks like Splatlanders had a power clamp from the Tent Umbrella, Wanna Splat, and the Jerry throwing in those clams. I think Jerry's just someone you really need to watch out for. They are not afraid. They are not afraid to play to their range, and they're not afraid to play close to you. Like they have, no respect for your personal space. They want to get in there, even if as a heavy edit, as long as they could just hide behind a wall for like 2 seconds, they're able to just wreak havoc. And I think definitely that aggression, that aggression from the keys to victory was something that I was not expecting to apply to the heavy edits. I was expecting to apply it to definitely Cyan with that roller, Chris with that awkward shot.
I will say with the heavy edit, with how fast that weapon shoots and how and just how much of a laser it actually is on a full charge, it could very well act as a mid-range weapon if you just kind of let it get away with all the space it ends up getting away with. So gotta be very mindful where that heavy edit is. But as we can see, as we head into our actual game 4 right now, we do see that Dreadringer stays.
Oh, Reef Slider, how you are good for one thing and one thing only. And it looks like we do see the roller on the side of Splatlanders again from Cyan. We see Cammy coming back into this game after I believe they subbed out Game 3. And looks like they do have that double trip strikes, but Cammy goes down. Chino's trying to fight Chris on their stack. Chris is going in with a Reef Slider. Not really doing much, but it looks like he is able to help their team out, pressuring the California Rollers out of the base, and it looks like Splatlanders will take an early lockout.
And they're looking to try and stall out the California Rollers as long as they can, as this fabled roller in the back line skirmishing with the shot and ends up getting a trade. That's not what you want to see. California Rollers 35 points, and we're counting. Not California Rollers, Spanish. I'm out of loss right now.
Yeah, me too. And we see the roller catching Nesca. It looks like they were not unable to. Oh my god. Never mind. Okay. Yeah, it looks like Nesca was not able to find the roller, and we see Chino fighting a 1v3 on their own with the support from the pencil. Chino was able to jump out safely. We see the cooler from the California Rollers in their zone. No one's really able to grab it. It looks again is once again wreaking havoc with the bubble. They are able to stay safe until Nesca comes in from the top rope. Oh my goodness, that man might just be broken in half.
Oh, your awareness has to be vital here with how deadly that roller can end up being. You just had to know exactly where the pain is and how many count of your enemy players are. But as we hit 10 points remaining, this looks like it's just gonna be a complete lockout for the Splatlanders as 5, 4, 3 Reef Slider just in case. That's game.
Wow, they really stuck to that aggression, especially Cyan being in their base, doing what they do. And California Rollers didn't have much of an answer to the rest of Splatlanders' offense. After they got Cyan, and then what, Chris had a Reef Slider ready at all times that California Rollers wanted to get in. Jerry was just holding their ground in zone as the heavy edit, and, the Wanna Splat holding that Brella with that Trizuka ready, able to provide support tell one of their teammates to help them get into the enemy spawn. I think this was just a masterclass on how to coordinate like a lockout on the side of Splatlanders. Like, wow.
Yeah, most definitely. The Splatlanders were just played beautifully that game. And one thing I do want to point out before this replay ends is the California Rollers got hit with the unfortunate 101 points to try and get through. So that I don't think I've ever seen that in my years of playing this game at all. So I gotta say, California Rollers, that's just unfortunate that you managed to get the point one time and got slapped with the 101 points to get through.
Yeah. And as we see, there are some subbing going on, I believe, on the side of Splatlanders. Yeah, as we see, Jesse is subbing in for. Oh, am I? Did I already forget? Do I have dementia? I think I do. Yeah. So as we see a sub in for Splatlanders, Tower Control, Inkblot Art Academy. I think Cyan just let the Splat Roller, rock. I think it just worked for you the last 2 games. Whoa, immediate checkup. I can't even finish my thought. We're just gonna go into game 5 right now.
Most definitely. Match point going to Splatlanders. If they win this this game right here and now, they are going to bracket with a clean 5-0 victory, which means the California Rollers have a very large mountain to climb right now to try and stay in this season just a little bit longer.
Yeah, but yeah. And as we see, Splat does go down. They are using that Sorella, not the tent. But as we see, Nesca does go down to Cyan. But as we see, Jesse goes down. Chino goes down. It's just a bloodbath in mid. And we see no one can really establish dominance. Jerry is in mid. Splat's back in mid already. Cammy has their trip strikes ready. Jerry, oh no, he's just waiting, bro. He's just waiting. Splat's on tower, being able to single-handedly push it to the first checkpoint, get it down to 83. As we see, 2 are down on the side of the Splatlanders. Make it at 3. Chino is on a roll with this bucket.
Heavy at it, playing more and more like a midliner with each passing game. It looks like it's going to be hard to try and contest that, as the California Rollers are slowly marching into that first checkpoint, but the Booyah Bomb is going to lock that out just for a second, but not long enough, as the California Rollers take a 1-point lead.
I think I kind of got my wish. We saw a Splatter Shot Pro on the side of Jesse. Nesca able to shut down Cyan, which is great. 2 go down. We see the Sorella Bro with that Inkshot ready. Splat. Oh, but they go down as well. The last one. And Nesca, oh my goodness, like a shark just stalking its prey. They're able to get it. And Nesca is already heading into Splatlanders' bats. But who's waiting for them? Cyan.
These teams are just going at it right now, back and forth with trade after trade. Both teams can't get enough of an advantage over another as they strike back. As soon as they get a little bit of momentum going, the Splatlanders are now the ones pushing to try and hopefully take that first checkpoint. But no, the California Rollers managed to get them off the tower somehow.
Nesca not being able to find everyone with their shark, but we see Cammy with those ink strikes ready as insurance just in case, and they are going to rip them, and they're gonna rip it like a Beyblade. And it looks like they're able to get California, the Splatlanders off of the tower. 2 are down. We see Jerry on the tower. Jerry, no! And as we see last one, Cyan, but they are unable to get Cammy, and it looks like California Rollers are back in the driving seat. But honestly, this is just kind of like a high-speed collision course. But as we see Splat from the right-hand side, we see Nesca go down, and as we see Cyan's just in their bats, just waiting. They can't really push, but now they're gonna, because they're all distracted. They find 2, make it 3. Oh no, they don't. They might make 3. Chino? Oh, what the? That's a disappearing act. I'm sorry.
That is the tacticaler special of just jumping out almost instantly, and the California Rollers managed to get first checkpoint in the middle of that chaos, but they might not be able to contest Splatlanders' first checkpoint take right now, as the Booyah Bomb manages to push back the California Rollers just a bit, and now the Splatlanders are marching forward to try and hopefully and potentially and actually do take lead.
They do, and as we see, Nesca's just waiting for someone to push on their bats. Splatlanders are 2 down again. I feel like I've always been saying this game, and as we look at Asper being able to hunt down Cyan and get the kill. But as we see Jerry, they got hit with 1 shot of the Sniper Rider. They do go down, which is very huge. That's no cooler. You see Wanna Splat not going for the right side flank again. We see Cyan go down. They try to be hero, but unfortunately they can't. They're just a side character in this game. We see Nesca and their bats. They use the bubble very preemptively. I don't know if that was the smartest play or not. But as we see two members of Splatlanders spawn. We see Jesse and Cyan, and now we see Jerry up in there. But look at Nesca go!
Second checkpoint down and already heading to the third checkpoint. This is dangerous territory for the Splatlanders. Oh! With the wipeout, the California Rollers might be able to just take this game and run with it as they take game number 5.
No. California's like grabbed the steering wheel. They said firmly grasp it, and then they just stepped on the gas. Oh my goodness! Just like a California driver, they went 150 miles in the 30 mile per hour speed zone. Oh my goodness! Oh my lord! What a wipeout! I didn't even notice. Nesca was just going crazy, and the rest of the California Rollers were able to coordinate their specials, their pushes together. That's gotta be a huge morale booster for them. They were down 3-1, but with a dominant win like that, being down, like, although they're still down 3-2, I think they're gonna try and use this momentum to win the set. They're like, they're charging up,
This is definitely a little bit of a shakeup for the Splatlanders. Just practically trickling in at that last point to try and stop and lock out this set. But no, they're in this game for one more match, and with the California Rollers needing to win this set, they're gonna take each game one and they're gonna say we need one more and we need one more until eventually we could potentially see a 3-3 scenario, game 7, where things are gonna be an all-out brawl. But we're gonna see exactly if we can get to there as we head into our next game of this set, Rainmaker on Museum D'Alfonsino.
As we saw from game 2, California Rollers won the Rainmaker game using a Trizuka from out of nowhere. So maybe we're gonna see a game like that as well. Maybe it's just gonna be a really big scrap in mid. Teams just inching forward, breaking through a checkpoint, trying to get a little bit more. And then the last 30 seconds, someone's going to break through, and then overtime is just going to be, can I matrix my way around a Trizuka this time? But as we see, Jesse is still staying in on the side of Splatlanders. We see Mystic Tari come back in the substituting for Cammy. So you get a Nautilus in exchange for a 10 attack. I think for a map like Museum, you're able to just kind of sit on top of it and want to try and contest Jerry, even though Heavy Edit does have a little bit more range than Nautilus. I think Mystic Tara can definitely use the walls and the ramps to try and get a jump on Jerry or get into their personal space, see how Jerry likes it,
Tensions definitely are high right now. The Splatlanders don't want to see this pretty much a pseudo reverse sweep happen to them. The California Rollers are just clawing at any opportunity they can to try and stay in the season for a little bit longer. Winning this game isn't actually guaranteed a spot in seeding for them, but it gives them a very good fighting to try and actually secure that seeding. We're going to see exactly how badly the California Rollers want this as we head into this next game, as we see the Nautilus come out.
Ooh, but as we see the Dread Ringer. Okay. It appears that something has happened. It appears that one of the teams, substitutions were not made before the game started, so that is why we are stopping this match right now. But let's see who's subbing out. I believe one might sub out on the side of Splatlanders, considering California Rollers made their substitution. Oh, dude, there's too many people on the screen. I need them to go to team selection like right now. I think Otto might be subbing in, no?
I am horrible with names, so do not look at me for trying and filtering out who's on what team, because I am completely horrible with names. So that is your task and your task alone.
As we see, the match is starting, and yeah, Otto is subbing in. It looks like Mystic Tari was not supposed to sub in for California Rollers that game. It's supposed to be Otto. And I believe Otto played a shot of some kind, so definitely I think they want to bring them back in for... Oh, wait, Zuka. Oh, Oh dear. But as we can see, Jesse with that Splatter Shot Pro wanting to make good uses of that buff, and as we saw some moments of brilliance, but California Rollers just steamrolled that TC Inkblock game. But maybe it might be different. Having a Booyah Bomb on a small map like Museum, you could definitely trap the California Rollers into a corner where they can't really run away from a Booyah Bomb. But as we can see, we're just waiting on Wanna Splat, maybe trying to consult with their team what Brella they should use, the Tentabrella or the Sorella, or we might even see regular Brella for no reason, or a Tentabrella with the VAC. That might be very effective for these Splatlanders, but let's take a look at these comps.
And you mentioned Zuka earlier. One change that completely slipped my mind from the new balance patch is the Vanilla Shot and all of its variants actually have a 10-point special nerf to it. So it's gonna get Ink Zuka just a little bit a longer charge to get that Ink Zuka ready. So they're gonna be very mindful of how and when they pop that, which makes that miracle stop by the California Rollers on that last Rainmaker game even more impressive. But right now, both teams are down one player each. Just play for neutral to try and see exactly who can get what advantage they can. And it looks like it might be the Splatlanders' turn right now to get this advantage and start running with it.
Oh yeah, 3 are down on the side of the California Rollers. We see Chris moving in with that Dreadringer, unfortunately going down to the pencil, but I think they did enough. Splatlanders was able to get through, and they might take a little bit more, but it looks like the California Rollers are back playing that defense right now, and it looks like they might want to shred this Booyah Bomb before it gets off, but no, they can't. But as we see, Otto is trying to fight their way into we see the Tri-Strikes from California Rollers, but 3 are down! Oh my goodness, this might just be over. This might just be over right now.
Go! They gotta go! They gotta go! That roller is the saving grace, stopping them from going clean! You just almost instant knockout like that in 1 minute! I was gonna mention earlier that this looks like this was a repeat of the last Rainmaker game where the Splatlanders got a completely sub 1 minute Rainmaker speedrun for the first checkpoint. But right now, they're looking to try and get that sub 1 minute victory. But it looks like the California Rollers managed to regroup just fast enough in order to stop that from happening.
Jesse avoiding imminent doom with those Tri-Strikes, but they do go down to Chino. Chino finds 2. It looks like this is the push that California Rollers need to get back into mid, or maybe they might just let they're letting the Rainmaker reset. It looks like Asper's grabbing it. They don't have a cooler immediately. It looks like they're the pencil grabbing it. I don't know if that's the best decision, but as we see Jerry with the cooler on the side of Splatlanders, they do use it, and it looks like Chino does go down, but as we see Nesca able to help assist finding 1, but they want to find this other person. They want to find Jesse.
Ooh, and it's a scramble for that Rand to see who can take control of it. And that roller just deleting that Dreadringer. As right now, the California Rollers are desperately trying to at least get that first checkpoint knocked out for them. As the Heavy Edit switching into its mid-lining playstyle, dropping down to mid to try and potentially see if they can get any picks. But no, the Roller can stop that pro. And it looks like the California Rollers get another pick. They can maybe even try and get this first checkpoint right here, right now. But no, that's a dangerous shark.
Yeah, Chris might find 1. He does find Otto, and it looks like can he potentially find the other one? It looks like they have Reslider ready on deck. As we see, oh, poor Asper. What? Bro, oh, it looks like Jerry coming in from the flank. You don't really expect a Heavy Edit to flank now, don't you? But as we see, they might find Chino as well. Chino is forced to jump out, and Splatlanders, with 2 minutes left, have a very, very nice lead. Ooh!
Oh. This is, like I mentioned earlier, this is what I like to call a knockout scenario where the California Rollers, in order to get 11 points, they have the opportunity to pretty much at that point just get a knockout. So they gotta make sure they can get that momentum going. That Rainmaker keeps getting pushed back further and further. It looks like the California Rollers could actually use that to their advantage to help speed up the process of getting that first checkpoint down. But no, as we head to 1 minute 30 seconds remaining, both teams are stuck at a standstill. Splatlanders are looking like they're trying to at least stall this game out, or stall out the Rainmaker as long as they can and prevent California Rollers from at least taking it.
Yeah, they stalled it pretty well, and they took down Chino as well, who did unfortunately kill the Rainmaker on the side of Splatlanders. But honestly, they're fine with that. 1 minute left. 1 minute has passed, and yet there was no progress on the side of the California Rollers. It is do or die. Chino does go down, trying to find Jerry and Jesse, and it looks like 1 goes down. Chris does go down to Nesca, and it looks like they're trying to push back in. The Trizuka does find Jesse off the screen, and they can't find Jerry. Where is that man?
The heavy edit doing the special of being a midline might have cost them just a little bit of pressure without that cooler.
Oh.
It might be, it's just utter chaos right now. Picks are happening left and right. Both these teams are just desperately clawing at each other to try and stop their momentum as we head for the final 30 seconds of this set. This could very well spend the storybook ending for the California Rollers if they don't play this right.
We see Wanna Splat going down in mid, trying to hunt this pencil. Otto's trying to pop the Rainmaker, but Jesse is... Oh, the fall off! That might just be it! Jesse gets the pick with the fall off. We see Jesse backing up, trying to avoid dying to Asper right now. Looks like California Rollers, they let the Rainmaker reset. They need to pop it and grab it. Chino's trying to play very aggressive onto their plat. They might find Jesse with this one. If they can, it might spell doom for them. It will definitely spell doom for them now. One is down. That in overtime, you don't want any of your members to be down, but as we can see, two are down inside the California Rollers. We see Jesse using the Booyah Bomb. This will allow the entirety of Splatlanders to... Oh my god!
Oh no!
Asper's being forced to back up all the way into their plat. And Splatlanders takes it 4-2.
A very valiant effort from California Rollers to hopefully try and stay in the season for just a little bit longer. This game pretty much being their do or die for being able to play for the remainder of the season, but Splatlanders held strong, and they're going to be going into our bracket with a nice 5-0 victory.
Yeah, as we could see in the replay, Chino was trying to find Jesse and then probably try and convert it into a kill on Chris. Unfortunately, that was not able to happen. We see Nesca trying to shark for the members of Splatlanders underneath their plat. Otto's trying to take a fight with the Forge, but unfortunately Jesse does outrange them. And this was just kind of the start of the end for California Rollers. We see two specials on deck. We see the Reef Slider. We see the Trizuka. Poor Asper. This poor person is just getting assaulted by everybody and everything imaginable. And as you can see, Chris got the final honors of stopping California Rollers' push. Unfortunately, there was no Game 7, which means there was no clash. But, very valiant effort on the side of California Rollers. I don't think you could be too mad at that one.
No, definitely not. They still actually have one more game to play, so they aren't technically out of this season yet. They could. I don't know how wild cards work, but that's a potential possibility if they could win their next game. But I genuinely don't know how that's gonna work out. And as what would have been a traditional playoff 7, looks like one of the teams wanted to just call it there and finish up for the night. But both teams did phenomenally well tonight. Cal Splatlanders did tremendously well to get that victory, and the California Rollers fought hard and strong, but they just weren't able to clinch that victory for them.
Yeah, Splatlanders really did well trying to halt that momentum off. And as we could see, the KDs, Jerry 15-7 with 6 coolers. Jerry was definitely able to facilitate those pushes. But as we can see, Asper, that TC ink block game, can we look at 20-2? Oh my lord, that just goes... Even if Pencil's nerfed, Pencil nerfs be damned, I could still pop a 20 bomb. But honestly, Splatlanders really put, shutting down that momentum that California Rollers got during Game 5 was very good. It really could have impacted their mental a lot more, but they got it together. They understood that we're still up 3-2, and they just had to be confident in their own play, and that's what they did. They were very confident as started that push. I got to 11. Well, I felt like California Rollers just didn't have an answer to any of it.
Both teams did phenomenally well tonight. I only can give my congratulations to Splatlanders for continuing on the season with a 5-0 record. So, but that does it for the CCA tonight. I'm pretty sure we don't have another game for the night. So, if the voice in my head can confirm that real quick, right? All right, voices in my head coming in clutch once again. So that's gonna be a very phenomenal wrap up for tonight. Mew, bestie, where can they find you?
Nowhere, because I don't play this game. I play Poker Rogue. That's a much better game. But yeah, once again, congratulations to Splatlanders. It's unlucky that you have to be located in a state like New Jersey, but other than that, You could find me on, honestly, you could follow my team Twitter, at best SPL map mode. I don't use my personal I don't know why my Twitter handles here. I'll just like make production change it to the team Twitter. But anyways, Dark, where can the lovely people find you?
Well, they can find me both at Twitter and Twitch at SPF_dark. Where I just repost a bunch of stuff. I stream from time to time when my schedule allows it, and it's just a grand old time. So go ahead and just check things out whenever I can, whenever you can. But that's gonna be a wrap for the CCA tonight. Since this is our last at one and only match, I don't know how exactly if we're gonna be rating anyone or not. So if we are, stick around for that. But if not, stick around for just stay tuned for tomorrow, as there's plenty more collegiate fun for you guys tomorrow on Sunday. So stick around, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye bye.